This is the headline from Brett's article on Renlist. Horrible person tries to sell parts from Carrera GT that Paul Walker died in.
Oh, my God.
After the police left the scene, this a-hole went to the site and gathered up some broken parts and is now trying to sell them, or tried to sell them, or maybe successfully sold them. We don't know.
It sounds like your favorite people, the ones that stole the microphone.
Right? Oh, yeah, the Ryans. Yeah, so maybe it's the Ryans. I don't know. Record. All right, welcome to a brand new episode of Die, the Porsche Podcast, where we really don't talk much about Porsches. We're going to talk about some Porsches today. My name is John Polnik. We're coming to you from the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas, along with my partner, Romi Mirza from the Romi Show. How are you, Romi?
I'm good. How are you? What's going on tonight, man? What are we talking about? What's happening?
You know,
come on now.
Our normal, my morning, I can't speak. You got me. It's because Duane Wik's not here, and instead we got someone talented. We got Wade Bennett from Tech Daily. What's up, Wade? What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Talented is a very kind word, but I appreciate you inviting me back once again to ramble and take up this nice chair.
Yeah, how is it? Did Duane leave anything sticky on that seat? Because I haven't sat over there.
It's actually relatively clean, but I haven't looked too close.
Is it super low? Because he's a huge guy.
It is actually pretty low. I feel like
don't turn on the UV light. That's all I gotta say. If you guys are not familiar with Wade, he has a YouTube channel called Tech Daily, where you talk about all things tech, telephones, cell phones, headphones, all things with phones. You want to tell us about it real quick?
Oh, you got it. All things phones. No telephones, though, because just cell phones, smartphones.
Telephones,
not so much.
Have you ever owned a telephone? I don't think you owned one.
When I was a kid, we had home phones.
Did you have one that rang, like with the bell?
No. We had the regular.
Not old enough.
No. Missed out on that.
Not old enough to get hit in the head with it when you were a kid?
No,
sorry,
not
that's my
life.
Sorry. So yes, cell phones. Anything else you review?
Smartphones, earbuds, all the consumer electronic stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what I do on YouTube. But here,
you're like that Marcus guy.
Yeah, Marquez Brownlee. Yeah, nice dude, real tall, plays ultimate frisbee. Real interesting guy. But
very interesting guy. Yeah.
Nice. Well, so today, I wanted to invite you to the show. We were going to talk, maybe not so much about tech, but I don't know. It's kind of tech. It seems like these days there are new ways to sell your car that are definitely tech related. These are now a lot of you already know that my partner Michael Deeb and I host the show
a very long time.
BidNerds on YouTube. BidNerds is a show where we talk about it's basically the most interesting car of the day from all the automotive enthusiast auction sites, like Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, P-Car Market, and what those auction sites are. It's not like eBay Motors. It's basically you can, if you have an enthusiast car, you sell it on this website where the car goes up for auction for 7 days, and there's a community of people that are kind of like a social media platform for those of you guys, if maybe some of you haven't heard of this, but you can go on there and you can make comments about the car and ask questions, and the seller of the car can answer the questions. And it's a really kind of comprehensive way to buy a car on the internet. It's a little bit weird, because it's sight unseen. Have any of you guys bought or sold a car on any of those platforms?
I have.
Chef has. We know Chef bought his turbo.
You bought your 930 turbo there, right, Chef? Yeah, the black one? Wow.
Yeah. Wade, what do you think of all these sites? You didn't buy your car, your Mercedes GT, did you?
I did not. I wish I did. To be honest, I think it's great. Gone are the days of Craigslist and really even Facebook Marketplace, though I know a lot of people still use that. I mean, I think a place like Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids, they generally have high standards for cars. You have 150 pictures, and hopefully if you have a decent enough seller, they'll answer questions. They'll be there for the 7 days of the auction, and you may or may not overpay for something, but more often than not, you get a decent car out of it. So
you never use the penny saver, I assume.
The what?
Yeah, he doesn't know what penny saver is. In the papers,
I bought
back
a boat
in the day.
On the penny saver. Boston Whaler. It's stupid.
It's true. All these websites, they have hundreds of pictures and videos and stuff like that. I remember getting the newspaper.
You just read the article.
Yeah, it was like you had like 15.
Remember that?
15 digits or less. It was like a Twitter.
Stupid.
The early days of Twitter, you had
No
all
classified ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like you thumb through it, and then you're like, "Ooh, I like that one. I'm gonna call that guy." And you had to be like, "Deet, doot, doot, deet, deet, deet," and then call him up, and then everybody answered their phones back then. Because nobody really had like answering machines or voicemail, so they would just answer their phone like, "Hello."
I haven't answered my phone in probably 2 months. It just rings. I don't know who it is. I don't care. That's it.
See, we remember the days of like the phone would ring and like, "Somebody get that!" And everybody's running for the phone, like it's ridiculous.
It might be somebody wanting to buy your car. You got to answer.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, there was
your boat.
I remember when I would have a car for sale, I was like, "Oh, the phone's ringing! Holy crap, that's money!" Yeah, you had to
The
go get it.
mailman's here.
But that was the problem, is that when
Different
you were
time.
trying to buy a car, you're like hoping, because
Yeah.
all the ads came out, like you get the newspaper or the penny saver or the Auto Trader when it was printed, and it would come out on a Sunday or whatever, whenever it would come out. So everyone's seeing the new fresh ads at the same time.
Right.
So everybody would be hitting that phone number on the good deals. So then you got to hope that you're the first one, get to the guy,
Yes.
find him if he'd answer the phone. And
No
find
Google
it. Yeah.
Maps. So you had
Yeah.
to like
Thomas
know where
guide.
you're going. No
know where
idea.
you're going. Like, it was
Rami, you
such a
remember the
different
Thomas
time.
guide? Did you ever
Yes.
use a Thomas
Yeah,
guide?
yeah. I lived in London. I used the A to Z. It was so stupid.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like a map the British people used to get around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
A to Z, sorry. You know, and it was like, it had
to
like
Z.
every page was like a map of like somewhere in London. And you'd open it up and be like, I think I'm here. All right, I'll get over there, move over to this dot, and I think I'll be all right. It was so stupid. The world was stupid.
Honestly, I always wondered how people got around before Google Maps, and now I know.
Yeah, that's
Sounds awful.
It's totally
I don't want
awful.
that at all.
Try being a door-to-door salesman doing that. It's freaking awful.
Oh, dude! I mean, all the old guys in the room. We remember when you had to trying to find a party or something like that.
Yes.
Do you remember the
Oh my
cruise?
God.
Like there was always Friday and Saturday night. You go out and you cruise, and what that was all is about. You drive around up and down the boulevard. You'd find a car full of girls, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's a party at the Moon Tower or wherever," and you know it would be at somebody's house, and then they'd give you an address or they'd give you
On a piece of loose leaf.
Right. They'd get a napkin and it'd be like, take a right at the tree with the green thing and then by the long fence, because nobody knew the
painted
streets.
rock.
Yeah, it was like you'd drive around all night and you'd finally get there and the party
be
would all be
over.
busted because you'd see the cop lights. You're like, oh, fucking go back. But yeah, buying cars is much easier now in a tech world. But okay.
You know, we got busted and I was in military school, and we got busted in military school because you couldn't communicate other than word of mouth, right? So there was a party Friday night, and it was a kegger, and the teachers put a stop to it. Can you believe that? Because they found out because everybody was talking about it, and they like went and put a stop to it, called the police, the whole thing.
Did you guys
Lame.
used to message via kite surfing in the dorm rooms there? Fold a piece of paper and a fishing string?
It was all
Oh my
uphill
God.
in the snow barefoot too. All right, enough
Yeah,
old
yeah,
guy
enough
shit.
old guy shit.
All right, so nowadays you can buy. The thing about BAT and all these sites, though,
I wrote it on the back of my Trapper Keeper. It's fine.
is specifically on these sites. The thing is, though, is that it's all for enthusiast cars. You're not going to buy a CRV or a Honda Civic or something like that. This is all, or Hyundai or something like that. It's all enthusiast cars. A very good friend of ours, friend of the show, Solomon Brown. How do we describe Solomon?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. Sweet and big.
I think it's pretty easy. I think he's the pope of the car scene in Las Vegas.
Oh, I like that.
I would agree.
I like that.
You guys agree with that?
Yes, yeah. Sweet man. He's got a sweet wife too. She's very, very, very nice.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just wonderful.
You can go on the
Cutest couple in the
Derfasa Nation YouTube channel and look up when Saul met Helga, or when Helga met Saul. He's one of the original Derfasa Nation films. Him and his wife Jackie star in that film. Very charming couple.
Very.
But he recently called me up. He was like, "Hey, I want to sell my GT4." He bought a GT4, 2016, brand new. And for all of us that know Solomon, we know that he goes on every drive. If there's a rally somewhere,
Yes.
he's there. If there's a PCA drive, he's there. If there's someone says, let's go get coffee 2 hours away, he's there. He is the driver of drivers.
He's the slowest,
but he's not
there.
fast, right? Yeah, he doesn't beat the hell out of the driver. He's just like...
He just cruises.
He does. You want to buy a car from Solomon, because any car that he owns is a car that's going to be meticulously maintained.
Yes.
Because he doesn't like to fix anything himself. If something isn't right or whatever, he takes it in, strokes the pen. He's like, I don't fix cars. I pay for fixing cars. He gets everything done, gets it done right, doesn't wait, no deferred maintenance, none of that stuff. So Solomon wanted to sell his GT4.
Let's see it.
Let's see if I can get a
GT4.
picture. There it is. Yeah. So he sold it.
Sexy.
He put it up on Bring a Trailer. I gave him the advice. I'm like, you're going to get the most money for it on Bring a Trailer. But here's the thing about this car. It's not just any GT4. The thing about this car is that it's 2016 with 64,000 miles.
But they're like puppy miles.
They're puppy miles.
Total puppy miles. Like when I drive with him, he always pulls over. He's like, Go ahead, Romi. Yeah. You're crazy. Go.
He's the last one at the lunch stop, and
Totally.
we may or may not be finished eating, but he still shows up.
Yeah. And the car's like perfect. It's pristine.
Yeah, Romi, you drove that car because we did an episode about his car.
Car.
Tell us about
fast as it ever
Tell
went.
us about Solomon's car. If you got in that, so that we know the car has 64,000 miles. If you didn't know how many miles were on it, how many would you have guessed just looking at it?
I thought there were like 20,000, 15 maybe, tops being realistic, but it felt like it had 5. Like it was just, everything was new. The suspension felt great. The steering was great. The gearbox was excellent. The turn-in was great. I mean, that car is just so set up. And, for a 16, I felt like I was driving a really modern car. And you can always tell the difference between a regular Porsche and the GT Porsche. It's worlds apart. Levels of order of magnitude higher than a normal Porsche. Like I'm pretty sure the GT4 has the GT3 front suspension. Am I correct on that? On the 16? I'm not too sure, but it is. JP, you could look it up. It is so dialed in. Like the power to weight, the balance, the braking, the transmission, everything about it was just fabulous. I love driving that car. And I just can't wait to get my GT3 again.
Well, here's the thing. I'm showing you guys a little bit of this is just the driving video. This is a shot. So it's just kind of a quick montage. This isn't the actual Romi Show episode. This is just a straight up driving video.
Notice the gloves?
Yeah, a little bit of a montage at the beginning, and then we go into right here after about a minute, we go into the POV shot of Solomon driving the car. This is you can actually hear Romi going, yeah, spirited, like fucking go today. This is as fast as Solomon has ever driven this car.
Rate 85 miles an hour?
30. It was ridiculous. I was like, come on, spirited Solomon, push it. And he's like, oh, okay. He went a little like 5 miles an hour faster. It was so funny. But I mean, he knows how to drive. For sure. He knows how to drive.
Yeah,
really
he
well.
is a member at Spring Mountain. He's one of the first members up there at Spring Mountain. He is a track member. He's at every track day. The guy when he wants to dial it up, he can school everyone, but he just plays it safe. It's great.
Yeah, it's like hanging out with Dad. It's nice. You know? Yeah, he's great.
So the reason why I wanted to bring this up from a tech point of view, the funny thing about BAT and the community is that people just get so stupid sometimes with the comments. And this particular, we were a little worried because I was like, oh my God, the comments are going to be terrible because it has 60-something thousand miles on it. Everyone's going to be like, oh, this car's used up. It's no good. I think the car is perfect. What's that?
It was the reverse of that.
Yeah, it was reverse. Everybody was super kind.
Nice about it. Yeah, and then I put that one comment, the one comment I made about the steering wheel. I was like, oh, it's never been, touched by hands because Solomon drives with the.
You didn't make that. Wait, what?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was me. I'm the one who did it.
Wow.
Look on the thing. That's why he responded that
down.
way.
Okay, all right, let's go down here.
You'll see it.
This might be a scoop right here.
Yeah, I'm the one who started that, and I felt terrible because I was like, the guy's like, I watched the video, and in 28 seconds, blah blah blah, there were hands. I was like, dude, those are mine.
Oh no, that's what I'm commenting about. Is that some people? Okay, you're skipping ahead. You're skipping ahead, Romi.
Shocking.
You got ahead of the story.
That's because you're too slow.
So here's what happened. A couple days before the auction end, Solomon commented to somebody in the comment section, not on the video. It doesn't say in the video. Solomon says in the comments, this car has never been driven without gloves, to save the Alcantara. He's saying this tongue in cheek, right? And
It
then,
really was nice. I
And
must
of
be
course,
honest.
yeah, I mean, and it's true. He
was like
never did drive it without his gloves,
Glistening
maybe
in the
once or
sun.
twice.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he doesn't like the way the Alcantara felt in his hand because I asked him about that.
That's what he said. Yeah.
He always wears gloves.
He's like, I just don't like the way it feels. He didn't. That's why he always wore the
I think
gloves.
it's called grimy too. I have an Alcantara steering wheel
Definitely.
on mine, and I mean, you touch it and it's ruined.
When they're new, and actually, Romi turned me on to stuff to clean it with. And I
like
love
when
the
I
way
turn
it
you on.
feels when it's,
Talking to the mic.
When it's not all matted down. I really
Yeah,
like
that stuff is
little
great.
Yeah.
It's money.
Yeah.
So
It's from
here's
China.
what some guy, his call sign is, how do you say this? SIECIKSUC?
I think it's douchebag.
Suckox. Let's call him Suckox. So Suckox says, and he quotes, "The driving gloves, while looking cool, were always worn to protect the Alcantara wheel from dirt and oils." That was the quote from what Solomon said in the comments. And then Suckox says, 26 seconds into the video, you're driving with no gloves on.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Like, oh, this guy.
Yeah,
Why do people even do this?
That's the
You've
thing.
got to be you've got to be the weakest man in the universe to make comments like that. Not in person.
Like what? Honestly, what do you have to do? Like
In the mic, Jason.
That's it. That's what he has to do all day.
kidding aside, like what kind of person does that? Like just
Oh, that's the thing. You know, on JP's point, it brings too much access. Sometimes there's too much comments. There's too much from people who aren't bidding. They're not buying. They're
Correct.
They're contributing to the conversation, but not really. So I don't know, pros and cons. You know, on the one hand, Solomon is trying to communicate that this car is well taken care of, and then you got that guy who's like, like, come on. There's no
Because
reason.
I did that comment too, JP. You know that, right?
Well, you replied to it, but you didn't say that he wasn't wearing gloves, were you?
Yes, the first one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to dig for that.
Yeah. So it was way in the beginning, and I just was trying to help out, and say like, I drove the car, and hey, the steering wheel really looks that way. And then that guy came out of nowhere and was like, and 220. I was like, oh, geez, God, that didn't help. Like, trying to be nice, and that's what you get, right? I mean, that's what happens. But there's always somebody like that. Even when you're in school or work or whatever, there's always somebody like that.
There is. I mean, a lot of people. And, the social aspect of these auction sites is great. You get a lot of constructive stuff.
Sure.
You get some new information. Somebody owned the car. But then every once in a while, you get people who sit at home all day and they refresh, bring a trailer, and they just want to comment and they want to have a conversation, and that's all they do. And then they want to contribute, and it's not constructive.
Yep.
It happens.
And usually they make themselves look silly.
Yeah. I was going to say, did that person end up buying the car? They probably didn't even bid on it. They just were.
Yeah. Okay. So I found your comment, Romi, and you didn't use the word never. So I don't think Suckox was talking about you.
What did I say?
You said, well, so your comment was, this car is so well taken care of, down to the Alcantara on the steering wheel, glistening in the sunlight. It's perfection thanks to its driving gloves. Solomon is a great guy and never pushes his cars. If you are looking for a well-maintained and cared for GT4, look no further. I think that is an
that's
excellent thing
accurate,
to say. Right.
very, very true.
Absolutely
automotive
accurate. Yeah.
poetry right there.
Yeah.
Write the descriptions for all cars.
It's car talk.
But Suckox, he quoted Solomon when he said the driving gloves while looking cool were always, the word was always. So he didn't even say never. He just said always worn to protect the Alcantara.
Oh, okay. I thought I started.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
it wasn't you.
"Jeez."
So you're fine.
Okay.
So, I responded to @Suckass. I'm like, hey, I'm the creator of the test drive video. I didn't want to go right for the jugular on
Just
Suckox.
for those who don't know, you don't want to get on JP's bad side.
Watch out! It's that producer John guy coming to the
he comes
rescue.
at you with like daggers. He's like, "Et tu, Brute!" Ah!
Watch out! It's producer John on the warpath again.
It was really funny, your comments, JP. Can you read a couple of them?
You kind of got me. Yeah. So, I was
You're
trying
in
to
a
be
box.
nice.
I know, you're in a box.
I was trying to be nice. I'm the creator of the POV footage you see uncut in the videos of Salo driving the car or driving his car. The B-roll exterior shots in the montage prior to the POV scene is footage we shot earlier in the day for a longer feature about the car to be published later. The specific shot you're nitpicking about at 26 seconds was of the host of our show, not Solo, driving the car for a bit. I can personally attest that I have never seen Solo drive this or his G-Buddy car without his super cool driving gloves, making him cooler than you or anyone could ever hope to be. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I just realized the biggest issue is that there's a continuity issue that JP screwed up on in his video.
Of
No.
course.
So that's why he's all mad.
No, that's not it. That's not the case at all. If I had said in the video, because I considered that was actually what I thought at first. So before I even commented, Jason,
Did you check?
I did. I was like,
You're
did
too
we
much.
say in the video that it was never driven without gloves? I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. But we never say that in the video ever.
No.
It's just Solomon's comment was always. He didn't even say always. He didn't even say never. Right.
But I mean, it's impossible. Like, what if someone valets the car?
Yeah.
What if somebody washes it? Like, someone's going to touch it. It's just the guy, the main driver wears his gloves.
Well, you make an excellent point. And before that could be addressed, our good friend Suckass replies. He doubles down. He doubles down. It's like, you have made an excellent case pointing out minor. Oh, wait. That's my that's my response.
Yours. That's yours.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Here's his reply. He
And
says,
you saying it.
Yeah. Sorry. He says it's not nitpicking. I was reading how good mine was. I got ahead of myself. I'm a little behind
happens.
here.
It happens.
So Suckass says at producer John, it's not nitpicking. It's calling a spade a spade.
Oh,
Who
he's
says
so
that?
old. Old
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Really,
exactly.
my mom says that.
The car is
Mommy,
well
it's got the
maintained. There's
spade
no
up there.
denying it. But to say the car has never been driven without gloves, and then having someone else comment about the amazing gloves, that's okay. So he's responding to you, Romi. Only to watch the video and see in the first shot of a driver without gloves made me chuckle. And yeah, it's silly to say something has never happened as you post evidence of it's happening. It's motherfucker. We didn't say never. Just saying that.
God.
No. So I came back and I'm like, you made an excellent case pointing out minor faults in a pedantic way, proving you are not nitpicking. Thanks for clearing that up. So Michael Deeb hops in, our good friend, my partner at
Who's clever, by the way.
Who was very clever.
Yeah.
Michael Deeb comes in there. He's like, I've never seen the BAT trophy, but Suckass or Suckox
trophy.
will surely win for calling a spade in quotes. But he gets my vote and a standing ovation for his comments. I doubt anyone reading Solo's remarks thought that he insisted the valet, porter, technicians, detailers, and of course the video producers should wear gloves when touching or driving his car, but maybe Suckox would prefer they can't. I don't know. It's
Or
just,
Romi.
He just, I love Deeb. Shout out to Deeb. He
Yeah,
was
shout out to
even
Deeb.
better than my comments, and I was pretty pissed. But yeah, this Suckox comes back, and it keeps going back and
You were
forth. but we all
texting
just
me
like
about
that.
it. You're like, did you see those comments? And I was like, no, I'm working. Oh my God. What is this? Who is this guy? Oh, gee, I have time for this. Like, I have a real job. Like,
We
I'm not,
do.
like, what the hell?
You know, here's the
Unbelievable.
thing, guys. You know, if you want to buy a Porsche and you want to, or you want to sell your Porsche, maybe you can avoid all this crap. Forget the auction sites and just go right to our friends at Godden Classic. Let's hear a word from them. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I got to tell you about our friends Godden Porsche of Las Vegas and Godden Classic. If you're looking for a new Porsche or a classic, you got to call our friend Steve at Godden. This guy. Save yourself the hassle of screwing around with all the auctions like we always talk about and just talk to Steve. He'll find you the classic Porsche you're looking for. Godden Porsche of Las Vegas. If you don't subscribe to BidNerds on YouTube right now, I'm gonna shoot this 997. If you said, wait, that's a 996, you're a nerd. So subscribe to the new YouTube channel, BidNerds.
And we're back. How's everybody doing? All right. We are here with, what is it? At Tech Daily? Is that it?
At Tech Daily, and I got to be honest, I don't upload daily, but I still upload more than that guy, so I figure I'm ahead.
Wait, which guy, me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you over there.
Do you?
I think I do.
I don't
just
know.
Barely,
we,
though.
We,
just barely.
we post like 4 videos a week typically on BidNerds.
Oh, yeah.
And
way
then,
more. Yeah.
do you?
It
You're
depends on
like
the week.
once or twice a week, aren't you?
Depends on the week. If there's a busy week, I might almost be daily. But
Okay, all
He's
right.
like, but the Romi Show, not so much.
the Romi Show, you know,
the Romi Show's hard, man.
the caliber of content is way higher than
Yeah.
all of us.
I mean, we have to go somewhere and almost break a car and
Film and
and
blow
edit
things
the
up.
stuff. Look,
Hey, I drove a smart car over the weekend. I drove
Tech
I like
Daily
that
is
car.
awesome, though, man. You
Tech
really
Da-
do a
Tech
great
Daily.
job. You
Jason, speak into the microphone.
What smart? You drove a smart car this weekend?
Yeah.
What smart?
why?
The
Why?
old smart car or
What?
the old original or new?
No, a new one. It was a convertible. I liked it.
They still make those?
No, it was like it's 13.
Okay.
It's a great car. Even though I did blow it up, I shot it and all that stuff.
Was that your grinder date?
It. Yeah, it was. Yes. How did you know? How did you know?
Well, Romi, it was either that or the guy's his daily is Metro Geo.
Wow, that's dated. You just dated yourself.
That's the classic version of a smart car.
It's a grinder date.
So listen, there's been some like we were talking before the break about buying and selling cars on Bring a Trailer and buying things online. Recently, some really crazy stuff came up for sale online. I think I want to say it was on Craigslist or something. Our friend over on Renlist, our good friend Brett Footy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Brett, if I'm incorrectly pronouncing your last name, I seriously apologize. Brett has done a lot of great stuff for Defrost Nation, Porsche Road Trip, our TV show.
Nice.
And we got to get him to do an article about the Romi Show here real soon. But he's one of the journalists at Renlist as well as Flat Sixes, and I think he's on some other places as well. But he recently, have you guys heard of this? This kind of shocked even me. I mean, this is crazy. Apparently, this is the headline from Brett's article on Renlist. This person reportedly gathered items. Wait a minute. Horrible person tries to sell parts from Carrera GT that Paul Walker died in.
Oh my God.
So some asshole apparently reportedly gathered items from the scene of the crash and is now selling those Carrera GT parts. And we're talking like little plastic junk. Let's see if I can get a
It sounds like your favorite people, the ones that stole the microphone.
Right? Oh, yeah, the Ryans. Yeah, so maybe it's the Ryans. I don't know. So... And they're trying, so you can kind of see, I don't even know what, it looked like there some broken fog lights or something from the crash. Apparently the guy went in after the police left the scene. This a-hole went to the site and gathered up some broken parts and is now trying to sell them, or tried to sell them, or maybe successfully sold them. We don't know. For $75,000.
$1,000. He's obviously located in California.
Yeah, it's in San Francisco. What do you guys think about that?
It's going to be a no for me.
That's a hard. That's awful.
I mean, the question is, I mean, you could say, did it actually happen? Is it real? Are these the real parts? But regardless, the act of doing it, if it's real or not, is awful.
Oh, like, he's going to hell. Yeah, that's for sure.
There's no reason.
You're trying to profit off of somebody's death? Were you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? What is the world coming to? Like, really?
What do you even do with these if you get them? Like, you put it in a display and put it on your wall in your man cave?
I don't know, but let's find him and punch him in the face.
It seems like he was counting down the days. Like, if he's had them for however many years, he's like, all right, now's the time. Like,
oh, that was a good time.
No. That's a good point, Wade. Like, why do you think he waited this long? Because this is not exactly topical, right?
I mean, there's been like 7 more Fast and Furious movies. It's still in, popular culture and people are watching it and stuff, but again, the point of the matter is, real or not, applicable to how things are, what's popular now or not. That's awful.
It's awful. It's different. Like if he was selling like something from the set, that Paul Walker sat on, or used, or his shirt or something, that'd be okay.
They sell his cars all the time, and movie props, signatures.
That's fine. But like the car he died in, and you've got pieces of it that you stole from the scene.
I mean, this person seemingly saw this and was like, "I got to get there."
Right,
scraped it off the no, just no.
That's just ridiculous. Chef, was it you?
I have parts of mine EJ's car for stuff.
Oh yeah, you gonna start selling them?
I remember when Romi crashed the GT2 on the loop. We were thinking, maybe he probably left some carbon fiber out there. That stuff.
Oh, I sure did. I went and got it. Remember?
Did you go get it?
Yeah.
Smart. Somebody else would have got it.
Yeah, I'm glad I did because I had most of the rear bumper still there. And Daniel was like, "Oh, you just brought in like a $7,000 part. It's good."
It was still usable.
Was it still intact?
Yeah. So the bumper, those mesh things in the back.
Yeah.
And the interior of the bumper was still intact, but it was there. But the exterior of the bumper was ripped off. And he's like, look, the exterior is pretty cheap, but that interior mesh work and all the things it's connected to, he's like, that's the expensive part. Go get it. And I went back out there and got it. And it was still there. He's like, I can't believe you found it. I was like, me too. Jeez.
It's pretty lucky. I'm surprised somebody can come and pull that off with the Rangers or whoever else. Like,
right. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
lucky.
So what's the
only like a day
haunted museum in town? Do you guys remember that?
Zach's Haunted Museum.
Zach-
Yeah, something
Zach
like that.
something?
Yeah.
Zach Baggins. Is that what it is, Jason?
I love
Like
that
the
show. It's
Go-
great.
Ghost Hunter.
So that guy recently,
It's amazing. Oh my God.
we were talking about before the break, Bring a Trailer, or maybe Cars and Bids. I can't remember which one. I'm pretty sure it was Bring a Trailer, but a couple of years ago, during the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, someone sold the rear transaxle from James Dean's 550 that he died in. And that thing sold for $175,000, just the rear transaxle.
What? JP, I thought it was more. I thought it was like 300 something.
Was it a
I'm almost
350?
positive it was. I'll see if I can look it
was
up, but I'm pretty
a
sure.
What kind of car was it, JP?
It was a 550 Spider.
Oh, it was a
Porsche
550.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Famous car. You know, it's interesting. I might be infamous, but might be misremembering, but I think more people have parts and pieces from that car. Like there are people who are trying to resurrect it, which is an awful word, but in a way, I mean, put it all back
Oh,
together.
that'd be
and,
so cool.
you know, all the parts and pieces.
That
so they're
would be nice.
collectors.
Like
Well,
as a tribute to him.
So,
I don't know.
so there's actually a story behind that. That car's cursed. Like there
might
were
be
other
futuristic
parts that have been that people have tried to rebuild that car,
Yeah.
and everyone who has,
What?
every single car that has had a piece of that of James Dean's car has crashed.
Yeah. So
What?
people have
Yeah.
put parts and pieces in other cars, and
It's cursed.
It is a cursed car.
boy.
Transaxle from James Dean's cursed Porsches up for auction. Here's the article.
That transaxle actually, I think, went in another car.
Wow, that
As a
wrecked-
racer.
that
No. Well, maybe before. Yeah.
And then he died.
Dude,
That,
how
like-
fast was he going?
No, a car hit him.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he was basically going down the highway. The sun was behind him.
Dark Desert Highway?
No, he's going towards Salinas.
Cool wind is there?
And you don't want to know?
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Smart
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
And the sun was behind him.
Talk to the
and-
mic.
Into the mic, Jason.
Into the mic,
Hold
Jason.
on a second.
The
How
sun-
many freaking times do we need to get some Post-its? Our good friend Lee works for Post-its. He works for Getty
does?
Images, and he has tens of thousands of Post-its. We need to get Post-its. Jason, talking to the goddamn microphone. You were saying.
Sorry about that, producer John. Anyway, he was heading down the highway. The sun was at his back. And
You're
it's
still
like
not talking into the
one
microphone.
of those like 1950s huge cars.
Yeah.
Just basically went to go turn
All
across the
steel.
highway and just nailed him. Like,
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't know. I thought he wrecked out.
Jason, you were 100% correct on the
Usually
on the
am, Producer
price
John.
of this car. $382,000 for the 4-speed transaxle from James Dean's 1955 Porsche 550 Spider.
That's
right down the street.
bought that?
Back in May of 21. Yeah, right here.
It's here.
That's what we were saying. The
Is it
the
at the
museum.
Haunted Museum?
It's at the Haunted Museum. You can go see this thing.
Oh, I see.
If it doesn't burn down before we get there, 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
sure these
Or if the building doesn't crash into another building. Yeah.
Yeah, what is it with people wanting to buy memorabilia from people who?
I don't
mean, it'd be
know.
like buying the
Oh,
bloody
stop.
shirt from
Bruce
JFK
Lee.
or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
CIA.
Well, you've also got. I mean, I assume somebody bought it at some point. You got the Bonnie and Clyde death car.
yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen that in person.
Yeah.
That it does tours in museums. So somebody paid for it somewhere along the way.
And then people trying to capitalize on, a celebrity's death. I'm like, oh, dude, that's a new low. I just can't.
Well,
Come on.
it's weird because you could say that a recent celebrity death, somebody capitalizing off their autograph or their picture or something. But I think at the end of the day, it's like if this person has a specific relationship to the item that they died in or on or around or because of, that's probably the line. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
I honestly wish that the ad was still live and we didn't hear about it after they took it down, because I would have responded to it and said, "Yeah, I want it. I'll pay you. Let's meet up." And then filmed it.
and then
because
just
that
knock-
would have
and
been
then
an
knock 'em
awesome
out.
video, awesome viral. Just show up and make fun of the guy. Like, what the F is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah.
That would make an excellent
Absolutely.
Romi Show episode. If he showed up and just like, what are you doing, dude?
What are you
Just
doing,
hit-
dude?
Yeah.
Come on.
But at that point, you in
Scumbag.
fact would be capitalizing on the death of Paul Walker.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at you.
he
Oh,
makes a
look
point.
at
He
you.
makes a good point. Romi, what would you say to the guy if you got a chance to, if you did get to meet him? In the
I would
parking
just
lot?
punch him right in the face.
You would hit him?
Oh, yeah.
You're going right for violence.
Going right for violence, yeah. I can't take that. I mean, it's not right. It's not right. I mean,
it's not right.
If you, I mean, if you ever experienced death, it's not right. If you haven't, then you don't understand. But when you do, it's like it's not right. A guy gets punched in the face and then choked out, maybe hip tossed into a brick wall.
Well, let's go to a lighter note before to wrap the show up here. We talked about Solomon's GT4 on BAT before the break here, and so I thought we'd play a little game, the same thing that we do on BidNerds, our other YouTube channel, where we try to predict what the results of the auction will be. I think do all of you guys know what happened with the auction on this car, or do you guys?
I don't remember.
I do.
You do? Okay, so I'm sorry, Wade, you said you do or don't?
I do. Yeah, Solomon and I
Okay.
actually had a nice conversation over breakfast.
Okay, so
about
who doesn't know what happened with the auction?
I don't remember.
Do you care to guess what you think the car went for?
84,000.
84,000. Okay, that's a pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good guess, because here's the thing. I mean, we've seen GT4s go for somewhere around $89,000 to $105,000. That seems to be the going rate, but all of them have less than 20,000 miles. Most of them have under 10,000 miles.
Right.
So all the comps that we were kind of looking at. So when Solomon called me up and said, "Hey, what should my reserve be?" Because you can set the reserve. You can put a reserve on the car so that if the bids don't meet a certain amount, you don't have to sell it for a low amount. You can sell it at no reserve too. So he sold it at no reserve, or he sold it with the reserve, but the reserve is private. People don't know what the reserve is going to be. So I was like, dude, I think you're going to be lucky if you get in the 70s. This car has 64,000 miles. That's a ton of miles for
A GT car. Yeah.
a GT car. That's not a ton of miles for a car. If this were a Honda or anything else, no big deal. But the miles really affects the value of things like this. So I was thinking, it's in such good condition. I think that's why it's going to get in the 70s. If this were a 64,000 mile 4-owner GT4 at some car dealership in Henderson, I'd be like, you're going to be lucky if you get in the 50s. And it probably wouldn't even sell at any number, even if it were super cheap. Like, no one would even touch it. But because the community got behind the car, I think it actually helped that douchebag Suckox making his stupid comments, because then that just generates more energy into the ad, and people want to kind of watch the auction because they're just making fun of this poor idiot. So the final result of the auction is pretty incredible. It went for $92,481. I mean, that is insane.
Do you think it's because of the comments?
I think it's because of the seller. I think it's because it was very obvious that the community, you, Romi, and all of us got in there and really said, the owner of this car is a stand-up guy. He's the Pope of Las Vegas. He doesn't drive like a maniac. People were like, oh my gosh, he's on the track, but it was like, look, he owns 2 Miatas. Those are his track cars. Mm-hmm. Yes, this car's been on the track, but like, he's like, everything added up.
The complete antithesis if I sold one.
Yes.
Every comment would be like, he jumped it, he blew it up, don't buy it, this thing's it's gonna blow up on you, it's a piece of shit.
I mean, you'd have to pay us not to say anything in the comments.
Yeah. I would actually have to pay you guys not to
never been spoken.
if I saw my car, I'd be like, oh dude, it's Romi, you don't want it. Like,
that is so true.
even the dealers in town are like, dude, how do we resell your cars? God damn it. The only one that sold was the GT, because I barely drove it. Yeah.
Well, so there's we've talked about him on the pod before, Salvage LaDouche. You guys can watch that episode about the Ferrari owners. How do you know somebody owns a Ferrari? He'll effing tell you. So we know a guy in town. We call him Salvage LaDouche. He always drives like salvage titled cars, and then he'll show up and front like he's just a baller, but all his shit is like, it's all salvage, but he'll pretend like he's some big shot. He's just the worst guy to be around, and he'll ish on everyone else's cars that are actually good cars. And so he showed up to Motor Club the other day, and he was ish talking about Godden Classic, who is our sponsor. They also sponsor the event, and he's ish talking to our good friend Mikey.
To Mikey?
To Mikey, right? And Mikey, he's sitting there ish talking about how bad Godden is, right? They red labeled my car, my engine, blah, blah, blah. They're so bad.
It's savaged.
Yeah. And Mikey's like, oh, really? Yeah, tell me more. He's like, yeah. okay. Yeah, I work for Godden. Okay, and the guy's
He's like, you idiot.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The first time I saw that guy was at Car's Un Cafe, and I didn't know who he was. I never met him. We all talked about him, but I never. And I'm like talking to this person. I see him walking around. I'm like, who's that douchebag? Oh, that guy's a tool. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk to him. Like he was like with a cop and like walking around. Like it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like he was God's gift to the world, and you could just tell it was a facade. Like it was so fake from far away. I didn't even talk to him. Just his mannerisms and the way he's carrying himself and what he's doing. I was like, this guy. And then they're like, that was Samaj. That was him. And I was like, it was? I had no idea. But yeah, he's if you look him up in the dictionary, that's a douche.
He's radioactive. He's like, I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
But
he's like, he stole someone's mail and, got a check out of someone's mailbox
like
and he's
Carl,
trying to cash it.
Like Carl?
Yeah. No, it's worse. He's like the Moonanites. He's trying to he's trying to cash the check and it turns out it's a bill.
Yeah.
That's Salvage LaDouche.
Oh, totally. He is a Moonanite. You're
He's
right.
a Moonanite. It's like, he's like,
give him the finger.
My dad owns a dealership.
That guy's the best. Oh my God.
All right, guys. What do you think of BAT? Is that a good place to sell your car? We think you should just go see our friends at Godden Classic of Las Vegas and just make it easy on yourself. Wade Bennett from Tech Daily, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Did you have a good time? You're going to come back again?
Thanks for having me. Talk about cars and all sorts of stuff, and I hope everyone enjoyed.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you,
it's
right?
Great. Yeah.
Right?
Pleasure.
Honestly, you kind of took, my partner Duane Wik's place, and I don't know. I mean, for a host with a W in his name,
it's just a little shift in. Nobody will notice.
No one will notice.
Here's the thing.
You guys are both kind of the same tone, so it works.
But he's
It's
better
a nice
looking and has
tone.
more talent.
It's a nice
That's the
The
thing. Better
viewership
looking, more
would
talent.
Probably
Wow,
improve.
look at this. You should come here more often, huh?
Is there a little bit of a man crush thing?
I know. He's going to have a hard time walking out of the door.
It's hot up in here.
Like this big.
Duane, we miss you, buddy. Here's the
We
thing.
miss you,
Duane
Duane.
couldn't be here because it's Father's Day this weekend at the time of this recording. And what the hell is the deal with Father's Day? Shouldn't it just be second Mother's Day? Father should be able to do whatever the heck he wants to do. He can't do the pod because his wife wants to do Father's Day stuff early because somebody's got, I don't
It's called
get it.
being a father. That's it. Once you're a dad, that's the reason why I'm not. Your life is over.
But no, not really.
It's over.
Not really.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Oh, really?
But
Tell me how your life isn't over.
Father's Day is like on.
Do you still go out to strip clubs and have
Yeah,
a good
whatever.
time?